Hi there, my name is Zoe. Welcome to my new channel called Unapologetically You. I wanted to start this channel because I thought it was about time that I talked about my out of body experiences, the empath spectrum, among other subjects. I also had a voice come into my head to say it's time to start, Zoe. Being an empath, it can feel very hard to put yourself out there and to share vulnerably. But what I know is that when others share this way, it does so much for me. It just feels amazing and it makes me feel not alone. So that's why I'm here doing this. My aim as well is to be able to interview people with lived experience, not only of the out of body experiences, but also coming from maybe the empath spectrum, coming from lived experience of the awakening and aware process and how that has unfolded for people. And to just create, really, it would be really nice to create a community where we can just all support each other and be here for each other. So, like I say, this is my first YouTube, and I just want to really give a brief description. It's not going to be too long unless it goes that way and it comes through that way. So, yeah, I started to experience out of body stuff from a young age. I actually remember as a young baby, and I remember having my nappy on and my mum changing me and me looking out of a window into the sky and just a knowing that this wasn't my true home. That might sound crazy, but I remember it. I have that memory. And then going from like the age of kind of 7, 8, and up to the age of 11, I remember waking up and I would be standing at the end of my bed looking at my body. And we moved into a house on a beach when I was around 11 years old, and it was a house that was previously owned by 2 priests, and lots of different things happened in that house. But I was kind of brought up with some fear and scare around it, like so many people are, and I learned to shut it down. I learned to kind of be fearful of it. So when I'd get those body sensations, the body buzzing, I would really pull myself out of it very, very quickly. But over the years, it just carried on. I never fully came out of my body, but I did feel, yeah. I mean, I came out of my body, like I say, when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I would have those experiences. But then like I say, then I learned to shut it down. So I'm going to talk about Darius J. Wright. So I found Darius just over a year ago. He came up on my YouTube feed and I couldn't get enough of listening to it. I knew straight away I mean, if you've watched Darius, you possibly felt like this too. But when I was listening to what he was saying, I was like, I just knew. I just know this. I've gone through my life with this, knowing and feeling very confused of like, why isn't anyone else talking about this? Like, why is this, why has this got to be something that's strange or weird? But obviously now I understand, the massive programming, that we're in a game, that we opted to come here, we opted to forget. I mean, it's an amazing, whoever created this, it's amazing. But sometimes I must say, I'm like, whoever created this, I'm not very happy about it. It's not been easy. Yeah, it's not been easy. Life isn't easy. Actually, this to me, not to sound negative, but just being honest, this to me now it really makes sense that this is the hell. And obviously that is just truth and who we are and that we never end. But yeah, what an experience. So it is time to, I really feel that it's time to share. I've had this niggling thing going on. You must share, you must share. And even like a couple of my out of body experiences, there was one actually where I was coming out of my body. I was laying on my front in bed and I woke up, awareness of the soul coming out, saw the top of my body, felt it lifting out, looked at my hand. My hand was pitch black and I could kind of see my shoulder. And then my bedroom was just pitch black, like a different darkness to the normal darkness. And I could feel a being behind me. And I was just too scared. I was like, this is just freaking me out. So I do this thing. I don't know. I mean, you can say in the comments what you do, but I do this thing where I almost like scrunch my whole body up, my eyes and everything, and that gets me back into my body. But that's not the goal. The goal is to come out. But as I was coming back into my body, this voice came in my ear and said, Zoe, do it for the children, which was a bit strange. But I've had that a few times about doing it for the children. So here I am, doing it for the children, the adults, whoever wants to listen, but just to share, not to make it, I'm no guru, I'm no teacher, I'm nothing like that. I'm just a normal being in a body having an experience, and I am part of an out of body experience group now, which has been really, really helpful. I've got a really lovely empath group as well. We get together on Sundays. That is just like gold. And I really want to talk about the empath spectrum as well, because that has been a game changer for me. As I came into my awareness, let's say I started my awareness awakening process about 12 years ago now, where I really questioned my own mortality. There were lots of different things going on in my life, and I was at a point where I was in so much despair and terror. Yeah, it was a massive wake up call. Obviously, a lot of people wake up through suffering. I haven't really heard of anyone waking up, having an awakening through a blissful experience. Although when you first awaken, I went through that blissful stage where I wanted to tell everyone. I was like, oh God, how can you not see what I see? Do you know this? And then, I started speaking to people about it and they thought that I was crazy. So then I started to just keep it to myself. There were a few people that I spoke to about it, but not that many people actually. And there still isn't. So I think that's why it's not in the close vicinity of where I live anyway. I have my empath group now and the OBE group, which is, yeah, I'm very, very grateful for that. So I think that I may leave it there for now. But I really want to be a support and talk about these experiences a lot more. I am at the point where I have come out of my body a few times in my bedroom, like I'm fully out, the soul's fully out. I've seen my body laying on the bed out the corner of my eye. I've seen my dimensional spaces. I've had a couple of weird experiences, but now realizing that those experiences as you come out is actually your own thought forms and your own subconscious mind coming out to play. I'm getting to the point now where it's ready to push past that, because home is where my heart is, and I can always go home because I just come here. And that has been a practice in itself, just to come home. You can always be home if you drop the mind, the stories, the thoughts. That in itself is a real process, and rewiring, firing and rewiring, as Dr. Joe says. Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's also been a very integral part of my awakening process, my aware process. I went to a retreat of his last year. I flew there on my own, and it was the best week of my life. It was amazing. So I'm constantly doing Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations as well. They just get me there. They get me into the truth, the void. I've had some amazing energy experiences through his meditations as well, especially when I first started those, which was a couple of years ago. My body, people call it the Kundalini energy. Again, I don't really like putting labels on things. It's energy moving. But the first ever meditation I did of Dr. Joe's was Blessing of the Energy Centers. I remember it so vividly. I mean, you remember you remember the truth more than anything else, because the truth sticks. So the first meditation I ever did of Dr. Joe's was, I was laying down and my whole body went into convulsions. But anyone watching it would think, wow, what is that poor woman, But no, it was the most blissful, amazing. All this energy was moving. My body was coming up from the floor, my throat center, like there was so much, and I just knew that my body was releasing all of this fear, patterns, stuck energy. Yeah, and that happens a lot still, actually. That happens a lot in my meditations with Dr. Joe. There's just a real connection there. And I will mention this, I also had, probably about 9 months ago, I was having a really challenging day, really upset, really in lots of tears. I went into my bedroom and I sat up doing one of his meditations. And I was in that in between stage of awake and asleep. And I heard this from my pineal gland, because the pineal gland is actually at the back of the throat, the back of the head. So when you put your attention on it, it is literally like our receiver to other realms, our receiver to energy, to the truth. My head actually moves a lot in meditation. And sometimes if I just really hone in to that space, to the truth, and close my eyes, then it could probably, even now when I'm talking about it, the head starts to move. So that is literally like our aerial, our receiver to home, basically. But I was sitting on the bed in that in between stage, and I heard a boing, this noise, and I flew. It was obviously just my awareness just went so fast into the void, and it was pitch black, windy. There was all these mechanical sounds. And I was just in full elation. This was before I found Darius, and I didn't realise just how much my excitement would pull me back into the body. So I got really excited. At the time I was asking for healing. So I was asking for healing as I was in the void. But it just felt so free. I was flying, awareness flying around the void. It was amazing. Got very, very excited, and my body started coming back. Not my body. The soul started coming back into my body, but it was amazing. It was really slowly coming back, and I felt my soul just really gently resting back into my body. And I remember I couldn't move my fingers or my feet. it was just, and that was a really poignant experience for me that, yeah, this is just a game that we're in, a really hard game. It is hard. It is. It is. But it can also be really, really beautiful. And as an empath, this is what I've learned. Um, I have this group that I go to on Sundays, this amazing woman that started this group, and she is really, really connected to truth. And there's 5, 6, 7 of us now, and we to have other humans that are on that empath spectrum, because we feel everything. We feel other people's, even to say I can feel other people's thought forms. I can pick up on their energy. And it's taken me a really long time to realise just how much it has affected me. I mean, I've got ways of coping with it now. But that was really hard. It felt really hard up until I met that group. Wow, there are other beings out there like me. Um, it's like sometimes you feel so hypersensitive that you can hear a pin drop in another street. That's how it feels when you're an empath. And also, there is this innate thing in empaths, this innate feeling of deep connection. Like all we want to do is just deeply connect, and obviously we can deeply connect with ourselves. If you look at it like this is all an illusion and no one else is real, you are just with yourself. Of course, you can go there and deeply connect, but it is so lovely to have community and have closeness with others and be open and honest with others. That's another thing on with the empath is we absolutely crave that connection, and we're so open to being wrong and to seeing ourselves and to adjusting ourselves if we need to, that it's taken a really long time to understand that so many other people aren't. So many other people are in pride or shut down in that way. And that can feel really painful when you are on this spectrum. It's no one's fault. Everyone is as they are. Everyone chose their journey, their path. They're possibly a specific soul, a specific soul type. Who really knows the absolute answer? But we do know when we start to walk that path, when we start to have our own experiences. And I've become really open now to not putting an absolute on anything. The only absolute I know is this truth, is here, is God, source, whatever you want to call it. I really like the word God. That can bring up a lot of religious connotations for people, but for me, I never came from a religious background. Actually, my dad was atheist. My mum really skeptical of anything like that. So you could probably say I came from a clean slate. My grandma was psychic. But then she was told that she was mad. So that's what happens. That's what happened back in those days. Actually, I don't know if she was told that she was mad, but people thought that she was a bit weird. So I'd really like to get some empaths talking on this channel. And I also really want to talk about the out-of-body experiences. Excuse me. because it all goes hand in hand. I mean, why are we here? Why am I doing this channel? I'm not doing it for any sort of ovation, or I want to do it because I want to speak the truth. The truth is like food to me. It's like I'm just hungry for truth. I have been all my life actually, and always felt like square peg, round hole. And now I'm finding people that are similar to me. It's like, oh, I'm so grateful, so grateful. So I think I'm going to leave it there because I could talk for hours about the awakening process. There's so much, but I will talk about that as I go along. If you have any questions or you'd like me to talk about anything specific, then please do leave it below. I look forward to interviewing. I've got a lovely lady that's coming on, I think next week. So I'm going to aim to put one video a week out. Is there anything else? No, let's just close with me wishing you a gorgeous day, whatever day, time it is that you're watching this. And let's close with a grounding breath. So taking a nice deep breath in and exhaling. And as you exhale, release your shoulders, maybe close your eyes. Know that you are this love. You always have been this love. You always will be this love. Always. And no matter what's going on outside of you, you can always come back here to the truth inside you, inside your heart. The truth of who we really are, what this really is, how amazing it is, how magical it is. And that beauty, love, truth is our birthright. And sending you lots and lots of love, and see you soon. Bye.